You know what it is? I think everyone's trying to play like PRX. It has to be it. There's no way you're taking this many fucking 1v1s for no reason. Poison this guy. This guy said poison the region. No, because think about it, chat. When you think about T1 and their playstyle, it's extremely like the Pacific fanatic kind of in the way that they play. They play around the map. They take map control slowly. On defense sides, they don't give up 5v3s and 4v2 for free, like 1v1s and shit. This has been the exact opposite. I'm telling you, this is the PRX influence. Everyone just has to shoot. Everyone's just shooting, you know? Everyone's putting themselves in positions where they could just fucking shoot their gun and not have to worry about util. You know how I know there's a PRX influence here? Because PRX has dominated this region for so long that, like, on a consistent basis. So that's reason number one. And reason number two, even the non-duelists are making these 1v1 like errors, which are errors if you die. Like the Astras are pushing B main, taking 1v1s. Fucking Killjoy is constantly fighting middle 1v1. That is not normally. How good is their split? It is mainly dependent on Yatsuka just one-tapping kids out of the server more than like it being tactically good.
It's a comic.
Pacific in general, the play styles that they have is entirely dependent on not outplaying the opponent, but just out shooting them. It is rare. The only team I see consistently potentially outplaying people are T1. And today, it didn't even look like they were doing that. They still won. APAC doesn't try to outplay. They outshoot. Even think back to Masters events, okay? Think about how many times we've seen APAC teams run into bomb sites that have 3 players. You guys understand that that's bad, right? Objectively, that means you've been outplayed in the round. You've been red. They still win. APAC, out of any region, is consistently hitting bomb sites with 3-4 players in it because they never even try to make map pressure on other sides of the map. Like, if you watch a team like G2, okay, no glaze, even NRG, you'll see them on Pearl, for example, make A pressure. Okay, go back to middle, make some mid pressure. One guy at B holding the whole time. And then if they have double initiator, do a late scan B to push the guys back. Take all the map space so the opponent has to guess where you're going. In APAC, you don't have to fucking guess where PRX is going. Bro, do you understand? I played PRX and they were just rushing hookah every round and we had 4 there and we lost. This is how they balance. This is what their outplaying is, okay? They'll run into hookah, right? We're ready at B. We're nice crossfires, counter util ready, everything. They'll throw like 68 smokes in front of us. They will make the round just weird. All of a sudden, there's just smokes in random spots on the site. A fucking cove that lands somewhere that misses, which I look at and it's confusing me. So now I'm not even thinking about the round. I'm looking at the cove. Then a flash comes through that they don't run out with. And then they finally do jump out without a flash. Like, nothing really makes any sense. That it confuses you to the point where you just miss. That's their version of outplaying you. It makes 0 sense and it fucks you up in the head. Normally, my comms are really good. I'm like, okay, they're coming out, because there's tendencies teams have. They have like something specific they'll do right before they exec. I know these timings as the game goes on, right? I'll know exactly when to tell my team what. But with PRX, it's a random every time. So I'm just quiet. And we're just in the bomb site crossfired, but no one is saying a word because we don't know when the hit's coming. And they just jump out of hookah. Sometimes they don't even use a flash. They just hop out with 3 guys. Or Jing will just satchel out of the map, and then the other 2 will jump out behind him. It just makes 0 sense. But it works. It's always worked.
That's been a while since the patch. What do you think of the post-util nerf? I think it's still bad. And it's playing out exactly how we expected it to play out. When you got teams like G2 are now SME and like, it's kind of upsetting. It will get boring very fast. It's fun. The meta right now feels okay to watch because there's so much change. There's so much change with all the agents that teams are like, it's fun to see all the teams figuring it out. And you get to see it in real time. The reality is that most teams will end up just doing some kind of PRX light thing. And as someone who knows the game quite well, it's less fun for me to watch teams and come to that inevitable solution. If I was coaching a team, I wouldn't want to play that way. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to be able to play. Like, if I was head coaching a team, I would prefer to like play a slightly more complicated style if possible. But this meta's not really about that. So, how do you even nerf Neon and Whaley without making them useless? Neon's not overpowered at all. Neon is a substitute agent for when you can't play Yoru, basically. I still think that Yoru is far more powerful than Neon. Neon isn't Neon isn't overpowered. And the comps you're playing don't involve Waylay in a way. Like the issue is Americas isn't playing very much Yoru, and therefore there's a lot of bias towards what people think strong or not. Waylay is also overpowered, but I think Ada said it best when I was watching his stream the other day, where it's like the way Waylay's overpowered makes it feel annoying for players because there's no counterplay. Whereas the way that Yoru's overpowered is just broken in a way that there is kind of counterplay, but it's still fucking broken, you know? Neon, I don't think is broken. It's frustrating in ranked to play against, though, I'm not gonna lie. It's so annoying in ranked, but... Neon takes a skill to make it feel broken. I guess so. I think in APAC we saw how good texture was with Neon, and then every APAC player thought they were texture, and they just not. It's a bit like how Jing makes Raze look broken. Like, I think it's like that. It's like, Raze isn't broken, it's good, but like, realistically, Jing made it feel broken. Danby's Neon, yeah, Danby's Neon, yeah. Like, in 99% of cases, I'd still rather play Yoru. Are there any casters you reckon could be decent coaches? The problem with talking about that stuff is that coaching isn't just about strats. I think the reality of the situation, usually when people who went into talent or broadcast first and then became coaches, usually don't have a good time. Like, I've seen it in League of Legends, and I've seen it in Counter-Strike, where talent has become, or broadcast talent has become coaching staff. And it usually doesn't go amazingly. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I do think that there is a very different way the game is thought about from a broadcast point of view to a game, like to an actual coaching point of view. And I think it's very difficult to get that insight or perspective without having actually coached. And so most coaches who started coaching work their way up that ladder. And if you're forced into the tier 1 immediately from a broadcast side, you're probably not on the same wavelength as most coaches in terms of like in-game stuff. It's not necessarily even about knowing more or less. Like, I think that, for instance, I think that Sideshow probably is one of the strongest analysts we have and very smart about the game. But there are probably ways in which he thinks about the game that might not translate into coaching. You know what I mean? Although his takes are interesting and he has, I think, a very high understanding, if that makes sense. If you put him into tier 3 and you worked his way up, like, I think that, or tier 2 and worked his way up, like, I think that, like, he could do that from a strategic point of view. And then there would be a question over his leadership, of course. Do you feel like Martin has been underrated? Coming into this year, absolutely. Coming into this year, Martin, absolutely. Maybe the most underrated player in EMEA. Maybe. Is there a better example than maybe Lover's Rock? Probably, but I think that's a bit different. Like, Lover's Rock coming up from tier 2. But yeah, I think Martin's the one where it's like previous VCT player. I think Starzo was underrated too. I had Starzo, I think 4th or 5th as my, like, for the recon role. I thought he'd be like the 4th best recon player in EMEA. He's obviously been playing better than that, but I had him rated quite highly. I think most people would have just presumed he was like middling. When I say it out loud, it sounds like I had a couple of those Genomics players very high on my list. Do you think EMEA is bad this year? This year? No, at kickoff, yes.